I guess we're starting on the download.
Oh,
That's how we're gonna do this. I know, right? It's weird, no intro. I'm just like jumping right into it. But yes, ladies and gentlemen out there in the YouTube sphere, the land of internets, we just got finished doing a watch party for Hawkeye episode 5.
mm-hmm.
And specifically because Yelena Belova makes her way into that, we get a chance to see her here. I didn't realize this wasn't the episode where he confronts Yelena, gives her a hug, and is like, "You're my sister."
Oh yeah, yeah. She's still angry and hungry for mac and cheese.
Yeah, mac and cheese with sriracha, which actually is not a bad combination.
There's better hot sauces. Let's face it.
There are, but I'm just saying sriracha is not a bad hot sauce generally. Well, I guess specifically with like Asian food. I mean, I like putting it in fried rice, and like yesterday, I went out with my boss, and he took us out to get food, and I got a chicken rice plate, and I just threw sriracha all over it, and it was fucking amazing.
Are we not doing in the beautiful TikTok mode for this?
No, so TikTok said that basically we can't use Streamlabs. You can't use outside programs unless you have 1,000 followers.
Oh,
which we don't have.
No.
And so I just kind of figured, okay, well, YouTube is our tried and true. So I ended up just starting here on YouTube.
Sweet, perfect. So yeah, I mean, as recap, we saw Yelena for the last time before Thunderbolts with episode 5.
Right. I mean, I guess technically, I think she shows up at the end of. No, I'm thinking Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop shows up at the end of the Marvels.
Correct.
So, yeah, I do believe this is the last time we see her.
Mm-hmm.
No. We see her. We see her at the end of Secret Wars. She's in the post-credit scene.
Oh, Secret Wars.
Oh, sorry. Of not Secret Wars. The one that no one likes.
Oh,
Secret Invasion.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. But we're not going to watch that again.
No, we're not. I'm not even going to put people through the post-credit scene of that. But I mean, like, she does show up in the post-credit scene with and I think that is the setup for Thunderbolts to begin with, because that is the scene where Valentina recruits Yelena.
She shows up at the gravesite,
right? And Valentina shows up at the gravesite too.
But that wasn't Secret Invasion. Where you watched that. That was the end of Black Widow.
Oh, was that at the end of Black Widow? Yeah. For some reason, I thought that was the end of Secret Invasion.
No. Ross, General Ross shows up. Not General Ross, but Agent Ross shows up again.
Oh, that's right. And then we find out that Agent Ross is still alive. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. But yet Colby Smulders still dead.
Yeah, that we're not going to talk too much about that, but that was like a slap in the face. It's like, oh, so we're going to get rid of Colby Smulders, who was like arguably one of the best characters that was in this show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they got rid of her early. Okay, we're gonna stop this. We're gonna go back to Hawkeye, which actually was a show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
yes, Hawkeye was definitely her last time in the MCU until Thunderbolts. I just checked it up. The internet machine told me.
The interwebs. The interwebs knows all.
Exactly. Right. So, for anyone who missed our fun team building that we did last night on the build, go check that out. But Leanna's going to be here. She's still listed for Doomsday. Her name's on one of the chairs. But is anyone listed for Secret Wars yet?
I don't think so. I don't even think they're thinking of Secret Wars right now. And I mean, the speculation we built on Secret Wars was mostly because we're a bunch of fucking nerds that know the comic books and we know what to expect. So that's kind of, that's kind of what I look at when I look at this stuff, is that we kind of know what to expect, or at least what we would want, given that it's what we know about Doomsday and leading into Secret Wars being, the supposed to be a direct follow up,
right?
because they're going like Infinity War style with this.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we all said that Yelena's going to be alive for Secret Wars. We all of us put her on some team. Well, not all of us. I don't think James did, but the rest of us did.
Yeah. Well, James kind of had a team that was like the Golden Girls and shit like that. So I mean, like,
of course,
just fine. Again, I still argue that his villain team was the best. He's the most meta team there. It's like, oh, who's here to ruin everything? It's all of the executives.
I mean, he didn't list it as a villain team. I assume he assumes it's a villain team. And maybe he's like, that's the team I want. I want Zaslav and Iger and Weinstein.
Zaslav, Iger, Weinstein, Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
He, for some reason, he put Kathleen Kennedy in there. Maybe that was to appease people like Saewon.
Exactly.
I don't think she's a villain. I think she does her. I think she genuinely does her best. You should have put Amy Pascal in there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
anything Sony with the Marvel characters,
which now
live action.
And now it upsets me that Amy Pascal, she just got control over another. I think she's doing Warhammer.
Probably.
She's doing a big franchise that I was a little upset to hear that she was getting control over.
Yeah, for sure. But let's get back to Hawkeye and Yelena. So, I mean, like I said, we all think she's going to live. Is she going to be the new Black Widow permanently on the reset? What do you think?
I mean, obviously, she's going to be the White Widow going in. I think they planted the seed for what's her name? I've got her name right here. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Well,
they planted the seed for Ruth Bat Seraph to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Given that she's a former Black Widow, but I mean, like, it's kind of the same deal. Like, she's got the same skill set. I feel like she might be a character that fills in moving forward. I think they may start going along with like former Black Widows just kind of showing up.
Right, because they talk about in Hawkeye that, as she maced someone essentially that was not being brainwashed, just like, Rachel Weisz was not being brainwashed. She's like, did you get all of them? She goes, I got a lot of them, but not all of them.
Right. And I think that's just going to still be something moving forward. I think that is one of the through lines within the Black Widow movie that is something that they're going to follow up with and continue on with, which I think they should. It's a good storyline. Again, I kind of feel like after Thunderbolts, they need to do something with they need to do something with Tony Masters.
Yes, because none of us put our current version of Taskmaster being in Secret Wars.
No, I mean, I keep saying that version of Taskmaster is going to die. So,
oh yeah, that was on our list of she's dead. She's not making Thunderbolts in the least bit.
No, I think she's not going to make it through. But I'm hoping that there's like a Taskmaster program, and that's where we get the birth of Tony Masters. I keep saying it is like he is the experiment. And I mean, technically, Tony Masters was another like failed super soldier experiment. So I mean, like, again, it's not like they're not doing a million of these inside of the MCU as it is right now. Because I mean, that's how they're explaining Sentry, right? Like, Sentry was another failed super soldier program. So, that's kind of, I'm sure they're gonna do that within Thunderbolts.
I mean, I wouldn't call him failed. He still is the most OP person we have.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the whole thing is that he's also got a split personality, and he's got, like, all this other stuff going on. Like, I think this is now something where I'm thinking now, where something I would hope is they go into some sort of like, we are experimenting with super soldiers serums and programs and whatnot, and this is the Taskmaster program, but then also while we were doing this, we experimented with this sun power, and we created Bob.
Now, since Steve Rogers is clearly on the moon, who do you think they're getting the blood from for Bob? What super soldier are they tapping into?
Well, there's two super soldiers, at least serum super soldiers on Thunderbolts.
Uh-huh.
So
Do you see? I see Red Guardian selling his blood for money because he's not living the best lifestyle, and they take it from that.
okay, that would be hilarious. Because I feel like Johnny Mayo would hold it a little more sacred.
Mm-hmm. Red Guardian is like, I need money.
I needed the money.
Exactly. They say Wong. So yeah, I can see them getting the blood from
Yeah.
Red Guardian. I don't think they'd torture Isaiah Bradley through that crap all again just to get his blood.
Yeah, or they one of the explanations that you can do is that they got Isaiah Bradley's blood while he was in jail.
Mm.
I mean, there is a setup for that. I think we were talking about this yesterday. Was I'm pretty sure this is how we're gonna get Patriot.
Mm-hmm.
Eli is gonna get in an accident, and they're gonna transfer the blood over to him.
Right.
So I mean, I see that. I mean, that's a way for us to get Patriot. Um,
But the question is then, you're talking about all that stuff. Do you think they got blood from Isaiah for, and we're gonna get to Eli. Do you think Red Guardian got Isaiah's blood? Do you think the other super soldiers that Zemo killed all got Isaiah's blood while he was in jail for 30 years?
I don't know. It's hard to call
Uh-huh.
whose blood they got because I mean the other thing is that I was gonna say they may have had the doctor's notes, but I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Correct, because Bruce Banner was trying to recreate the serum,
Right.
so they didn't have the notes.
Right. And he was trying to do it through gamma radiation
instead of the violet ray.
Yeah, it's funny how I think we've talked about this like way in the past, but like every like major super powered character in Marvel
Mm-hmm.
have all been people trying to recreate Captain America.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Except
people trying to recreate the super soldier serum.
Ooh. I'm going to go too far off topic, but was the serum created by Nathaniel Essex?
Ooh. Ooh.
Because he was doing gene manipulation and stuff like that for his own power.
He was, but at the time, and this is canon in the books, he would have been working with Red Skull.
I think he would have gone with whoever he could.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like canonically, he was with the Nazis at that time.
Did they take him from Wolverine?
That's a little bit different just because Wolverine has created different mutates. Like you got to remember, Deadpool was created from Wolverine's genome,
mm-hmm.
right? At least in the comics, but that's probably the serum that they used. Now, if you backtrack to Deadpool when they were injecting serums into people, they probably used Wolverine's genome to create Deadpool.
Well, I thought the X program was to replicate the super soldier serum.
It originally was, but they he was something a little bit different because he already had regenerative healing factor.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did with him was they injected him because it was supposed to be the super soldier serum. Like that's what the Weapon X program or the weapons program was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a little bit different because he already had that power. And they used that so they could inject the adamantium into him because they knew that if we inject adamantium into this dude, he's not going to die. So we can do this to him.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Interesting. Like I said, I can definitely see it all stems from that, as you said. Now we're probably actually going to get the Weapons X program with adamantium properly, so we can do it all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. Say Wong saying, "Are we doing fan theories?" We're throwing a couple of them in there, but we're really stemming from what we were
how
talking.
Bob we're stemming on how Bob was created, essentially.
Right. But that we're stemming from episode 5 of Hawkeye, so we're kind of jumping off the edge a little bit. But
I mean, this is all in prep for Thunderbolts, and this is our theories now going into Thunderbolts,
right, because this is the last property we had going into Thunderbolts. So, yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what we're doing now is theorizing on Thunderbolts. So,
right,
yeah, it's interesting to see what they do, whether it's they are if it's going to be a new compound that they're using to try and recreate the super soldier serum, if it is derived from the serum that that US agent took,
and the Flag Smashers took,
that the Flag Smashers took, which again would have been so much nicer if it was Flag Smasher. And it was well, it would have been so dope if like halfway through there you have Steve Rogers show up and it's like, wait, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah.
And Steve Rogers is the bad guy. Like that would have been so cool.
Oh, I don't disagree. I said it's all stemming from this. So, I mean, maybe it's just a hard chusk of Icarus that fell back from the sun. That's why Bob looks like Icarus a bit.
Ah, yeah.
They got Bastos technology.
I was gonna say, and that brings the Eternals back into it because a lot of people are like, well, where do the Eternals fit into all this?
Well, the Eternals, Bastos made the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Who's to say that he didn't help
make
the super soldier serum as well?
Interesting.
See, we just shoehorned Eternals back in their furry Marvel. You're welcome.
That's right. It's okay, Marvel. We can write. We are decent writers.
Exactly. So let's kind of do our kind of
last graveyard for your horror movie.
I'll give the real Werewolf by Night. All right. So the question is,
so Werewolf by Night 2. Because actually, the rumor just came up today that they are developing Werewolf by Night 2 right now.
He's got to be part of Midnight Suns.
That would be dope.
So, okay, so let's get into kind of our last recap then for Thunderbolts and kind of our last predictions. We said who's going to live, who's going to die.
Right.
Who do you think? We said some cameos. Do you think with this tower being purchased, we talked about potentially Norman Osborn bankrolling the purchase of the Avengers Tower?
Right, because it's now the Watchtower. So we know that's been confirmed that it's the Watchtower.
Now, since as we just talked about that, everything comes back to the super soldier serum. Is Norman working on the recreation of it, and that's how he turns into Green Goblin?
That's how he turns into the Green Goblin.
Right,
he was trying to recreate every corporation in Marvel. They all have their like, I'm trying to recreate the super soldier serum, and that's literally what Green Goblin is he was trying to recreate the super soldier serum. So it's like,
so do we get a cameo of him, and after where Bob is held and we see it being blown up in trailers, do we see him taking a vial that's left over from the explosion,
and it has Oscorp on it? Yeah. Again, it would be dope if it is a cameo from Coleman Domingo, who is the voice of Norman Osborn in the show. It would be dope if Coleman Domingo is our new Norman Osborn, and you see him with that Oscorp vial, and that's our explanation into Green Goblin. Now the thing is that might actually happen in Spider-Man.
Exactly,
because Spider-Man is taking place in between the two movies,
but not Earth 616. Oh, you're talking about Brand New Day?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if we see that like Coleman Domingo shows up in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Because like, what if there's just like a build up to a new relationship with Norman Osborn and Peter Parker, now that Peter Parker, like, nobody knows who he is.
I mean, we'd have to get that. And I honestly, I think there needs to be a department at Oscorp called Essex.
God. And if we do that again, technically, Nathaniel Essex exists within the MCU already because
The
Deadpool
X-Men
2,
universe.
no, because Deadpool 2 is canonical.
Not in the 616 universe.
Well, yeah, I guess the only one that's canonical in 616 is the third movie, but I mean, still, even then,
Right.
you know, they have established Nathaniel Essex, like he's not referred to as Mr. Sinister because it's just a plaque and the Essex Institute. But we know that at that point, that's the Easter egg for Nathaniel Essex. We know that he exists.
Well, we also got that in either Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix, that we had the Essex vial in the briefcase as well.
Yeah, and I think that was Dark Phoenix, and that was because the next villain was supposed to be Mr. Sinister. But you know, again, those movies did not work out as they should.
So, I mean, you want to do one more wild? Those are wild ass predictions that we have for obviously Thunderbolts.
Right.
Realistically, what post credit stinger are we gonna get for what movie next? Do you think?
Oh, so I know they said that Thunderbolts has a stinger that leads into everything coming up. So they've said that, like, you know, the stinger at the end of Thunderbolts is going to be great.
It's not going to be for a Fantastic Four.
It's not. They already said it's not going to be for Fantastic Four. So they said it leads into the greater Marvel universe.
So will it be for an unannounced project, or do you think we'll get something for Doomsday that early?
Well, I think Fantastic Four is going to be our Doomsday end credit capper.
Except they have said that Fantastic Four is not tied to the universe and there's no Easter eggs in it. So I don't know how they'll do that.
No, but like I think by the end of Fantastic Four, they're probably going to make their way into, like, they won't make their way into the 616, but there's probably going to be some kind of something that happens where like a portal opens or something that leads to them kind of coming into the multiverse.
Will they meet Hank McCoy and Monica Rambeau?
Ooh, that would be cool.
That way, it's just those two universes that collide.
Yeah, that would be cool if they do that universe, which that universe is also supposed to be the one that X-Men exist in. That the X-Men movies exist in.
I think 10085.
Yeah. But I think at the end of that, the teaser at the end of Fantastic Four is going to lead into Doomsday. And the other thing is Doomsday doesn't take place in 616 either.
Part of it.
Well, they're saying that that version of Doctor Doom is supposed to be a Doctor Doom from another parallel universe. Especially because the rumor standing right now is that he kills the entire Council of Kangs in order to gain their power.
Do you think maybe Doom will come from 838?
I think that's what it's going to end up being. I think they're going to end up going to 838 for all of this. I think that's just going to kind of be the battleground, the dumping ground for everything that they're doing right now.
Okay. But I think we still have an untitled project that's still coming in February. Is that correct? There's a slot for it.
Yeah. And I think that was something that we originally had announced and just got pushed back.
Yeah. So, but you think your post credits is going to be for Doomsday?
I think it's going to be for Doomsday.
Okay.
Well, at least I think the Fantastic Four one is going to be for Doomsday. This one, I think. Where do we go with this one? Because I'm trying to think of other projects.
Because we have TV shows, we have Wonder Man, we have Ironheart,
right?
We have something maybe slated in February.
Oh, we're supposed to be getting zombies too.
I don't think we'll get Marvel Zombies.
No, we're supposed to get zombies October-ish, but that's also not canon.
Ooh, You know what I bet we get? TVA.
Oh, a TVA one would make sense because that also makes it so that we have an excuse to bring Loki back.
Yeah.
Especially because like they've already said that we're like Loki is going to be the MacGuffin for Doomsday.
Right. And we all, people are talking about maybe the major theories by lots of people is the void leads into Battleworld or leads into the TVA void.
Ooh. That's the other thing is how are they going to explain Battleworld in, like and because I mean I feel like that's kind of jumping ahead to a little bit too much because that's not for a movie that's not coming out for like another 2 years.
Correct.
Right. So I think that would be jumping the gun. I think them going into Battle World or explaining into Battle World would be post credit for Doomsday.
Yeah. Yeah. I said TVA makes sense because that doesn't necessarily tie into anything necessarily, but it's still setting it up. Because we had TVA in Ant-Man, right?
Right.
They took care of it. 616 adjacent. Is Bob the Void going to tear something that's going to alert to TVA?
That makes sense. That actually makes sense. Where like Bob, he causes something that the TVA is like, oh well, we need to go and figure this out.
Yep.
It'll
be some blip and go, well, that's new. I like it. I like that.
What would be funny is if it's like a TVA reference and then it ends with just Deadpool. Just he's still at the TVA and he's just like, oh, what are you guys looking at?
You expecting me to know why Thor's crying for me? I'm still waiting to find out.
Oh God, if they add that in, because Ryan Reynolds already said that that they're not gonna do anything for that.
It really realistically could just be a dream that he has.
It's true.
It's a dream sequence.
Because Ryan Reynolds specifically said they threw that in there just so people would be like, oh, when are we gonna get this scene? And it's never gonna happen. And Feige loved the idea of that because he's like, people are gonna get so pissed off at this.
Yeah. All right. And so I'm putting in, we have one more Thunderbolts person in here that we didn't talk about. Val, alive, right? By the end of Thunderbolts?
Yes.
Okay. She hasn't been announced for anything else.
She hasn't been, but I mean, like, Val's not going to die. No, it doesn't make sense being that she's not a major player, even though she is kind of a major player in Thunderbolts. She's not a major player in the movie. Seems like she's just kind of like the Nick Fury stand-in for this.
Right.
She is our Amanda Waller. Which again, I don't think that she'll die. If anything, they'll Amanda Waller her and just knock her ass out.
See, I can see her dying, coming back as part of Doom's team for my Dark Avengers that we made.
Yeah. Which, speaking of Dark Avengers, it was funny. I almost did a full Dark Avengers team. I was just going to name off every character from the Dark Avengers, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. It's going to be too much of a deep cut. And what made me laugh is on Shadoo's team, the first person he names off is Ares. And I'm like, oh, Ares, the anchor character in the fucking dark, of course, a character that has not been introduced yet. And I'm like, God damn it, man. I should have just left him on there.
All right. And one last thing. So D'Onofrio said, I think this week, that Fisk cannot show up in any movies.
Yeah.
He put Fisk as a potential cameo. Do you think he'll be Fisk, or do you think we'll still have a Muse painting left over of Fisk in Thunderbolts?
That could make sense. Or there'll be references to Mayor Fisk, but like you may not see Mayor Fisk.
Oh, I think they'll mention Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, like the reason that I know we're gonna get a Mayor Fisk, like at least a reference in like upcoming and everything, is because they already announced season 2 of Daredevil's being filmed right now.
Right.
And if they're filming season 2 of Daredevil and we know he's coming back as the mayor in season 2, you know, there's probably going to be a reference to Mayor Fisk at some point.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think anyone put down Daredevil showing up in Thunderbolts.
I don't think he's going to show up in Thunderbolts. I don't think he'll show up in Thunderbolts, at least. I think he's going to show up in other shows post this.
Right.
But I don't think he's going to show up in Thunderbolts, though.
Like I said, I can see him getting Defenders back together after the events of this movie.
Yes, absolutely. That I do see him getting the Defenders back together.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the way that they've been saying that, you know, they want to bring Jessica Jones back in. They want to bring everybody else in. Wilson appearing in Spider-Man 4. So again, Vincent D'Onofrio, we were just talking about this. Vincent D'Onofrio said that he cannot appear in films.
Because that it's if it was pure Sony, he could.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's too much of a Spider-Man character.
Well, okay, I guess Say Wong is saying, does he appear in Spider-Man 4? And that actually is a possibility.
It depends if you think that Spider-Man 4 is going to take place on normal world or battle world.
Yeah. I don't see Wilson Fisk showing up in the Spider-Man movie because it seems like they're going in a different direction.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Do I see him showing up in Secret Wars? I think Sony might actually give permission for that because I know one of the things they're talking about right now, one of the rumors is that Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to tie into Secret Wars as well.
We'll see if they ever make the last one of it.
Yeah, because they're saying that that is Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to lead into the live action Miles Morales.
Will Donald Glover appear as officially live action Prowler other than just sitting down?
Yeah, right. Like him and on the ground, right? At this point, I want to see him come in as Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Great, right? But I don't know if they'll officially do it. I mean, he was cast specifically because they wanted him to be Prowler eventually,
right?
You know, so like, be nice to have him come in and be like in Secret Wars, have him be a villainous Prowler, like actually be a villain.
Mm-hmm.
There's also something that's out of context, or not context, out of character for Donald Glover, because Donald Glover usually plays lovable characters, so him playing
he does.
would be fun.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. All right, cool. Well, anything else before we wrap this up? I know after Thunderbolts, we're going to go back and watch the Fantastic Four movies.
All of the Fantastic Four movies, man. It's going to be great. We are going to watch all the Fantastic Four movies. So, guys, get ready over the course between now and that movie comes out in May, right?
Thunderbolts is May. July is Fantastic Four.
July. Okay, so between now and July, the plan is to watch all four. That's right. I said all four Fantastic Four movies. So Fantastic Four Part 2, Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. Actually, was that the second one?
Yeah. No, that's the third one.
That's the third one. All right. Yeah, Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, and then
Fantastic
Four Stick.
Yep.
Four Stick, Fan Four Stick, whatever the fuck it was. The fucking Blogger Doom, the fucking shitty one.
Mm-hmm.
Even the bad one, exactly.
Technically, we'll have to watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, because Johnny's in it.
And he talked about Reed in the multiverse.
Yeah, because Johnny's in that. Okay, no, that makes sense. I'm all for that. I love the idea of fucking watching Deadpool and Wolverine just because Johnny Storm is in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's the last time we've seen them.
Yeah, and we get to watch it all the way through the post-credit scene because the post-credit scene is fucking Johnny Storm.
Exactly.
The best part. of Johnny Storm. That whole thing was the whole reason that he signed on to do that movie.
Yep.
You know why the director shitted on his own movie is because Sony ended up cutting it differently than what he filmed.
And then they threw bad wigs on people.
Yeah, Sony ended up cutting the movie different than what he filmed, and he ended up walking away during editing.
That was Josh Trank.
Josh Trank, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think
Trank actually had good movies in between that movie. So I was like,
yeah,
like if hate on his Godzilla movie all you want. It was an homage to the original Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the original Japanese movie, you barely see Godzilla in that movie.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
And that was the point of this movie, was it was supposed to be an homage to the original. So you see more glimpses of Godzilla and people just running away from the monster.
Mm-hmm. All right. What I think we should do as a recap is wait a week after Thunderbolts comes out, make sure we all see it, and do a what we got wrong and what we got right.
I like it. Have you been writing all this down?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're definitely going to be doing a recap on like, oh, what did Graveyard get wrong? What did Phil get wrong? What did we get right? Apparently, I'm Graveyard too. I didn't notice that just right now.
Mm-hmm. 2 graveyards.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm okay with this. It's all right. I my lack of beard is made up with the pompadour I have going on right here right now. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for us this week. So of course, the next time we do this, we will be giving an announcement, hopefully earlier in the week. That way you guys all know when we start doing these Fantastic Four movies. Again, we're starting with the original Fantastic Four, and we'll be watching the second Fantastic Four movie, the one where they get married is the third one. Third movie, The Rise of the Silver Surfer with the worst version of Galactus. And then
you mean Eliath Galactus?
Yeah, that was more Eliath than it was Galactus all day, right? And then of course Fan Four Stick, the worst fucking Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Again, Doom Blogger, the worst version of Doctor Doom that you could ever create.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm like basically they decided, you know what we're gonna do?
McLovin as Doom.
We're gonna Gamergate, and we're gonna make Gamergate a villain character. You know, he's basically he's a video game blogger that turns into a bad guy. Fucking shitty premise.
Yes, it is.
And again, the way he gets his powers, it's like it's not any better than fucking Julian, because like the way that they did Julian wasn't all that great either. Like they just made him another Fantastic Four character, and it's like, no, he's the king of his own country. He embraces both technology and magic. That is the only way you're supposed to do this.
Yep.
Which now I'm sure Marvel will do that, because they have magic characters, they have technological characters. This is a melding of both. So,
of course, sweet.
Well, that is it from us, guys. Again, we thank you for joining us. I know nobody joined us for the actual film because it was just me and Graveyard, but we do enjoy, or we thank everybody for joining us in the chat at least, and then giving us your 2 cents, guys. We will be doing this again. Until next time, as always, thanks, and keep nerding together. We'll see everybody on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.